Hello, everyone. Welcome to our. Oh, welcome back, Boa. Welcome to tonight's stream where we are talking the one, the only, the classic. That is Beetlejuice. We watched it earlier on tonight backstage. A few of us did just to like get a refresher and that. But I honestly think that this movie still holds up. The effects, the acting, some of the jokes on it. Considering it was made in the 80s, like honestly, the practical effects that they used in it are absolutely fucking astounding. What about
Yeah.
you guys?
Yeah,
I
I
mean, you
agree.
were made in the 80s and you still hold up.
Yeah, I think anything, yeah. I mean, for like the sandworm effect, yeah. I mean, it's classic um
Ray
Eric-
Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen, sorry, almost was blanking on his name. But yeah, even Burton said, yeah, there's a lot of novelty with it, but it really gives the film that good aesthetic, even though even though it's a very dated effect. It was something novel because it was something very personal to him.
I think it's also worth noting that they made the stop motion kind of cheesy on purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
there was better stop motion animation and camera work being used at the time, like the ED-209 from RoboCop, for example.
Yeah, but it was
It's
too
just-
expensive.
Yeah, it was more expensive, and they didn't really need it. It was supposed to look weird.
Well, and that was
Absolutely.
what Tim Burton's like first dabble into stop motion, and he was kind of like growing the craft and everything. You know, you can see it. He's always had a love of that kind of
Yeah.
filmmaking.
Well, the filmmaking that they went through in this, you can tell they put a lot of work into it, and the time skips kind of made sense. Like it's like, hey, how long were we waiting in there? 3 months, really?
Yeah. Yeah, time flows differently in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Or in the case of where the desert sandworms are. Apparently it's on Titan.
Yeah. They for some reason they decided to send the dead to Jupiter.
Oh, it wasn't Saturn.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Saturn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Saturn is one of Titan is one of Saturn's moons. It's one of its largest moons.
Yeah.
But I mostly have a soft spot for Enceladus with its cryovolcanism, but what do I know?
Yeah. But what about you, Farv?
Well, what's the specific question?
About anything you like specifically about movie making around like that?
The movie making was fine, but you got to remember, like I said, the stop motion animation thing was nothing new to me by the time I saw Beetlejuice.
Well, yeah.
But the practical effects hold up because they're supposed, as long as you don't go into it being super cynical, they're meant to look the way they look. So I never had a problem with them.
It's classic Tim Burton.
Yeah. And I also think there's certain shots, like the stuff they did with the little miniature version of the city, that actually hold up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Incredibly fucking well.
And the makeup effects were just generally pretty fun, especially like what they did with Michael Keaton for Beetlejuice himself.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Gamer?
Yeah.
The visuals, you guys were talking about the visuals, like with the sandworm.
Yeah.
They became more noticeable to me now than when I watched them at the time. And I understand, like you were saying, it's a designed effect, but perhaps I'm jaded based on the films today because it stands out when they're standing in, on the surface of Titan there. The first thing I thought is green screen.
No,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It just hits you, and it's not a knock. It's just that was what they were doing at the time.
Obvious.
I didn't have a problem with the stop motion, like Favre was saying, because it doesn't detract from the film. And I'm not saying it's a knock on the film with that scene. It's just something when you're all talking here that I noticed immediately when we were watching it tonight. It's like, oh, yeah, the visual effects weren't spectacular. Back then, the practical effects were, like with Mike, with the snake in the dining room.
Yes.
And like you're talking about the makeup with Michael Keaton, those still hold up. Like I said, it was just the one little piece there that I'm like, as we're going through, okay. Just like say it jarred me a little.
Absolutely. But Experts, what about you about the movie making?
Yeah, definitely a lot of the things, the effects. Again, some of the makeup effects, especially the transformation with the Malins.
Hey man, good to see you.
Yeah. I mean, it actually won an Oscar, and heck, I should have taken a picture of it, but my local movie theater. I mean, when they premiered like the new Beetlejuice movie, they actually had statues of those transformed versions of them in the windowsill. That was actually a really nice effect that they did. But I mean, yeah, I mean, all the effects are. I mean, another thing that was actually pretty scary is the Beetlejuice, or unsettling to look at, is the Beetlejuice rattlesnake stop motion effect and puppet.
The one I thought was one of my favorite like practical effects was the guy who was run over. Like,
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling a little fat.
yeah.
There are no mirrors over here. How do I look?
So
Flat.
this is one of Winona Ryder's earliest breakout roles. Now she's had
Yeah.
one or two when she was younger, but like standout roles, this was her breakout. Now I'm just gonna bring out, we aren't due to the YouTube overlords, hallowed be their names. We aren't gonna be talking about anything to do with her two father figures. No, okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, in the movie we will, but out of the movie, not the real life.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That's for other people to deal with. But so I think Alex Baldwin's portrayal
Of Adam.
thanking you, was genuinely he was a genuinely nice guy.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, that's the perception you get. That's the funny thing, because the
Not.
public perception of him now, you see it a couple of his roles, even like with The Hunt for Red October, where you're thinking, wow, you're thinking genuine character, and like say, this is a nice guy, but
yeah,
reality kind of hits you. But I actually like Baldwin's role in this film.
oh, gotcha. And the woman who played his wife,
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis.
I
Yeah.
love Gina
Yeah.
Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the second best Gina Davis movie of all time. The first being Cutthroat Island. See last week's stream.
Which one?
What about Earth Girls Are
Favorite
Easy?
movie, right?
What?
What about Earth Girls Are Easy?
I've never seen that movie.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good
Oh,
role.
you gotta see it.
Yeah.
It's good.
But yeah, so the premise of the movie, essentially, for anyone out there who hasn't seen it, is this couple, their cousin, sister, they're a 9 family member. You know, we all have that one person.
Yeah, the real estate agent Jane. Yeah. She's convincing them to sell their house.
So I looked it up. She's basically their cousin.
Oh.
Right? It simply said their cousin. Didn't say which one. Cousin Jane. And but given that she interacted with the wife first, maybe she might be her cousin.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, so she's trying to sell the house out from underneath them because it's a house too big for a childless couple. Rude. And so they're going along, you know those classic American movie red bridges with the world's biggest dick of a dog? Like, I fucking love that dog. That dog watched them die.
Yeah.
Like, so they end up crashing and falling off the bridge, and then they're only held on by a plank, and the dog just steps off, and they end up dying. And I'm just there, like,
their car ends up falling in the river, which doesn't look like it's that deep.
I mean, we don't really know the extent of their injuries.
Plus the car's upside down.
You would think that once the pressure equalized, they could have got out of the car.
I mean, but if the car was upside down and they were injured, they might not have been able to get out. They might have just drowned.
That was the whole point.
Yeah,
that was the whole point. They left it ambiguous for the audience because they wanted to reveal to us that they died, not just assume they died.
I always kind of
Yeah.
assumed they drowned because the car landed upside down and they were
Mhm.
injured.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
That's what I think happened, honestly. That are they just were like, oh cool, hi. You get me?
Well,
Like,
I think Favre's right. That's the correct assumption because you see everyone else that's died and they all have their injuries. The
Yeah.
football players,
Yeah.
they don't have any physical injuries. So
Yes.
if they had like a crushed skull or something else, it would be consistent with the rest of the film.
Right.
Because they have no injuries, it's correct to assume that they've drowned.
Yeah. Which for the injuries and that happened on it, fair play. Like the way they showed everyone. But did any of you notice that some of the people from the beginning of the movie were there and they were still waiting?
Yes.
And also basically it confirmed that the fourth ever human to die is still waiting in the afterlife.
Well, would you be surprised if hell was a fucking office waiting room, honestly?
Honestly,
Yeah.
no. Probably the DMV or some shit like that.
Yeah. But only in the mind of Tim Burton is that a thing. I would just assume you would automatically ascend up and you're probably waiting. You're probably just like, hey,
Well, yeah.
like say,
Well,
like
I
say,
mean,
hey,
at that,
hey, hey,
well,
welcome
I mean,
to, hey,
at that
welcome to
point, you're
heaven.
dead. What clock are you punching?
So
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a weird dead plot point for Afterlife. Oh, sorry, Bubba. Did we ask you about what he thought about the movie production?
Oh, I still think to this day every bit holds up every bit as good as any of the old Star Wars movies or any of the other big 80s movies from back in the day. They they relied very heavily on practical effects. I know we talked about some of their constraints on stop motion, but I mean, if I'm saying I would have no problem, kind of like the skeletons in Clash of the Titans. I would have no problem seeing them interact, with them today any more than I did. Like if that were a brand new movie, any more than we did back in the day.
Yeah. So talking about like some of the plot details, it's a thing you don't ever see. Like what Favre just said, that the afterlife is essentially the DMV. It's a waiting room. It's an office.
Yeah.
And the fact that you legitimately get a handbook, and it's like they keep saying, "How did you bring the handbook? Did you read the handbook? Did you about how important this bloody handbook?" And their answer is no.
Damn it! Nobody ever reads the manuals.
We forgot our copy. Oh, you let Otho get hold of the handbook.
Well, that's the one plot device I have a problem with the film.
Okay, go ahead.
And I had a problem with it when I saw it, however long it was, 30 years ago. If you're dead and the powers that be give you a manual, one would presume it's ethereal. It's not physical. So why were they issued a physical copy of something that people in the real world, because they can't manifest themselves to
My assumption is that
away. Yeah, go ahead.
My assumption is that because the powers that be are deliberately being dickheads and they knew you'd lose it.
You think so?
We were testing them. That's what I always thought.
I thought honestly it was Beetlejuice.
Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder how long, like how many times the fourth human being in existence has been waiting, over and over again, getting new copies.
Yeah, but if you also notice, the book is covered in dust, right? And it's written in an early 1920s style. So that book has only been around since the 20s.
Maybe they only made one copy.
That copy. Yeah, that copy has only been around since the 1920s. You have no idea what those tablets and stones and stuff might have looked like. Just
ask the guy with the number 4 ticket.
Oh.
He'll tell you. But so, like, what did you think of Beetlejuice? I'll just throw it out to everyone. Like, what did you guys honestly think of Beetlejuice himself?
Honestly, he's supposed to be despicable. You're supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
But Michael Keaton was having way too much fucking fun being a jackass. So it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah.
Like, when we were watching the Jet Sparks, you did point out about him switching over like back to Michael Keaton. You wanted to talk about that?
Yeah, he like when like Barbara and Adam first meet him. Yeah, he's like he asks, "What are your credentials?" Well, I went to Harvard. I went to Harvard, Oxford, and I really liked it. It's just like he starts talking normal, like more like how Michael Keaton would normally talk, and then it just goes into
I've seen
like going full on
about
crazy.
100 million times.
Yep, exactly. And he does it exactly near the end. And he does it exactly near the end too. It's just so good how seamlessly he can just do that.
Oh, absolutely. Bobby, or anyone else want to talk about him?
Well, to me, he's like that. I mean, it's a trope, but he's that lawyer, shady, dodgy little building on the edge
Car
of town.
salesman.
Used car sales and that kind of thing. I mean, can he get the job done? Maybe. Will he get the job done? If it suits him, it's probably not going to look like what he promised you it was going to look like at the end. And so, I mean, Michael Keaton delivers that very, very well. Nobody can deny that.
Absolutely. Mombi Gamer, any of you guys want to talk about Beetlejuice himself?
Definitely demonic. I like when their advisor is talking and she's like, "You don't want his help." And they're like, "No, why not? He's right there." She's like, "No, don't even say his name. Don't do it." He's gotten into trouble. She kept warning him, he's gonna mess up crap for you. And they just didn't listen.
Yeah, exactly. But Sylvia Sidney, who plays Juno, she is honestly a treasure in this movie. And I mean,
she absolutely is.
She also was the same thing in Mars Attacks, the only other film she's collaborated with Tim Burton on. I'm gonna go get Grandma. I forget Grandma. She's already halfway to outer space already.
Well, Gamer, what about you?
No, I like the description. Of him being the used car salesman.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll sell you whatever you want me to sell you. It's the whole, if you're, an Eskimo, I'll sell you an igloo. That sort of thing. And what's in it for him? And the way, I'll help the characters, the ghosts that are dying, but there's always a motive. Okay, yes. I'm gonna marry the Dietz girl, so I'm gonna do this. So I'll help you. And like say, it's almost like you're rubbing the lamp. You're getting the genie. Well, you're gonna wish for something. Well, I'm gonna wish for $1 million. Well, you didn't. I didn't tell you I was gonna take it out. Rob a bank to give it to you. That sort of thing.
Exactly.
So you kind of get what you're asking for with him, and the actress you just mentioned, I can't remember the
monkey's paw. Yeah.
She gives you the moral warning. Don't utter his name. Just get them out of your house yourself.
Yeah, but
it's an excellent character. I mean, as the movie goes, I mean he really brings it home. And so when you get the beginning, I don't want to say the beginning, the moving plods along, but once Michael Keaton's on the stage, there's a different pacing, and he's just fantastic. And like Jess Park said, switching from what would be probably Michael Keaton's normal tone of voice to then, Beetlejuice. That's outstanding, just to flip on a dime like that.
Yeah. Like, it absolutely is. And honestly, I'm going to bring him up. One of my favorite characters of the movie, Otto. I fucking thought he was brilliant.
Otho, yeah. Man. It's crazy how he gets defeated. He gets defeated by bad fashion sense in his mind. Bad fashion sense when literally he dresses like he's Satan's lawyer with his red and black suit.
And when he's always trying to act like he's so smart, and he's oxychrome oxide, and blue green, and she's like, "What?"
Well, what's actually funny
he's just a yuppie,
Yeah, but what's actually funny is he actually is kind of knowledgeable about what he's talking about until he gets that hand. It's like, I don't know. And he just starts flicking through the book, looking how to stop it. He's like,
enough
what's
to be
going on?
dangerous. Enough to
Oh,
start
yeah.
the wheels turning. And like, oh, sorry.
But if you actually noticed, he tried to leave while he was reading the book. He stood up for half a second and then sat back down.
Mhm.
I missed that.
Yeah, it was just like a split second. I don't know, did he hit something, but it looked like he was trying to leave. But
I like the actor in the role because he's the same
Oh,
role
yes.
in Demolition Man. He's
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
dude.
yeah. And
And he-
unfortunately, also God rest his soul.
Yeah, I was gonna say he passed away.
he fell out of his wheelchair.
2019, I think it was
2010.
2010.
Fell out of his wheelchair and landed on his head and died.
Aw.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But yeah. Okay. Because we're talking about it. What did you not like about the movie?
The one thing I will say is that look, if all the furniture in the movie got switched around, all their stuff for Adam and Barbara, why couldn't they just pick up anything and just move it around? That would have created the desired effect. Just pick up something in the house and just
No,
move it
that
around.
would have created an annoyance, not a scare.
Oh.
Mm.
Or just pick up and throw it across the room and break it, or throw it at them and have it throw it far enough where it can
Well,
it goes at them, but it misses.
No, yeah, I get it, but if you look at it later on, like they would have enjoyed that. They would have gone off on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Favre, Mommy, Bubba Gamer, anything you didn't like?
Nothing occurs to me, honestly. I mean, but then again, a little thing that might bug other people probably
Yeah.
didn't me because I
Well-
watched a lot of weird movies growing up.
What bugged me was Lydia's a child
Yes.
and his weird fascination with her. You know what I mean? Beetlejuice is- yeah.
But that's the point of the
That always
character.
Yeah, I
I
say
know,
that
but it
didn't really
always-
bother me because he's supposed to be a creep.
Right.
Yeah.
But they can't protect her is what I'm kind of getting at. And I just
Your mom.
I'm a
the
mom,
thing is
yeah.
yeah.
you know, when you watch it when you're a teenager and you're not married, you don't have kids, you're like, oh God, you know, it's one of those. And now that you're growing up, you're going, oh God, it's one of those.
I'm childless and have no like prospect. Even I can see how wrong this is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I never saw it as a big deal because they're not saying it's a good thing. They're not saying she should just give up and get with him. Like that's the whole point of the is that she's got her new ghostly adopted family, surrogate family, and her actual family all wrapped up into this weird horse shit trying to stop this creep from marrying her for all eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to say something that's controversial. One of the things that I kind of hated, right, was the dead couple,
Mm-hmm.
right?
The Maitlands.
Yeah. They were kind of childish.
Like how so?
Okay, like when they found the book, right? Instead of going through and everything, the way they were going around and fluffing around kind of reminded me of like it. They threw the door. They knocked on the door. I'm like, okay, yeah, kind of. It might have been a trope from over here, but it kind of seemed like the magic door trope. Knock on the door and see what's on the other side.
But that's how the book was written, though.
I know. Wait,
that was like the one thing they could understand because it was written in stereo instructions. So that was like the one thing they could understand where they could go get help. Draw the door and knock on it. Yeah. I mean, maybe they were, some people don't have higher than a 6th grade reading level. And maybe that was just, maybe the book changed itself so that it knew the Maitlands could understand it if it talked.
But then that means that the book is conscious. If the book is conscious,
funny, like, it just seemed like when they started reading it, Adam goes, this thing reads like stereo instructions. And then it seems like, okay, well, then I found this in here and it seemed like it was just so elementary genius, right? And then Otho's got the book and he's just like understanding it, and it's, you know, and I'm going, really?
But you raise an interesting point. When was this movie? It was the mid '80s, right?
88.
How complicated were stereo instructions in 1988?
They were a bit much, depending
Were
on
they?
the
'Cause I'm just
stereo.
thinking when I had
Especially.
one, it didn't take long to hook it up, and then I had a turntable. I mean, compared to stuff today,
Did you have an afro?
no, I did not.
Wow. I remember seeing some stereo instructions, and one of the problems I had is that was right around the time when some of the stereos were coming with like multilingual instruction manuals.
Oh yeah.
So you had like 30 pages of manual and about like 5 pages of English instructions.
So
Yeah,
when
you
I
get
was
like German,
15,
French, Chinese.
my
Yeah,
dad
I get
had-
your point. Yeah.
my dad had, and he still has his his stereo system from that he won in a competition from I want to say 88, 89, right?
Mhm.
And when I was 15 years old, I couldn't work that thing.
Yeah.
Like those things, those old stereos are fucking complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But what did make me laugh at the time was it's like it had a new CD and it literally had little instructions on it how to put a CD in.
I remember that. I mean, I had a double tape deck with mine too. But you're right; it did have instructions on how to do that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it like laughs and youth.
Do not use this coaster.
You laugh, but tech support used to be really painful. Like the amount my brother made a joke the amount of times he had to tell people the stories about being in tech support and having to explain to people that thing that pops out of your, like having to explain to them where the disk drive was in their computer for CDs and DVDs because they were
yeah.
using it as a drink
yeah.
coaster.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh,
yeah, no. So we got derailed. So I love the fact that she what okay. Can I be an idiot? What's her name? Hey
Tina
Torch.
Davis?
No. Winona Ryder's character.
Lydia.
Oh, Lydia.
Lydia.
Yeah.
Lydia Dietz.
Thank you. Well, I love the fact that Lydia was an aspiring photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And she is not your stereotypical idiot teenager.
No.
Like, she figures things out quick, and it's like, oh yeah, you're ghosts. Well, that's cool. And they basically adopt and raise her.
Yeah, it's like, yes, yeah. They say.
Actually,
people-
it's
people
occurred
ignore
to
the
me.
Ooh,
It's occurred
go
to me
ahead.
why the stuff that Mommy had an issue with never actually struck me at that point
Go
when I
ahead.
saw that. Because given the age was at the time, I think I was more distracted by the fact that Lydia was totally the type of chick I was into.
That I brought that up to Jet Sparks and Gamer. I said, do you ever wonder why so many of our generation are into goth girls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lydia
her.
was the
Yeah.
reason. It was Lydia.
Yeah, hold on. So Brad says, for me, the Maitlands weren't rural enough. The Deets were the richy city folks. The Maitlands were supposed to be salt of the earth rural folks, but they didn't feel quite like that. I don't think they were meant to be rural. I think what they were, honestly, was that couple who just bought a house in the countryside.
Like maybe
Yeah.
just like a
Well,
suburban couple
yeah,
that just
Yeah,
inherited a
it's
house.
small town
kind of thing.
Connecticut. It's close enough
Yeah,
to New York.
that's what I
They
was getting
reference
ready
it as a
to-
chopper
yeah.
flight away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
only
And, you know,
it's
that was
only
in that time. That was when rural Connecticut was starting to be taken over by yuppies who didn't want to live in the city anymore, and so they were going and buying up all the land in that area for that time period.
yeah. So if you look at the contrast in between the two families, the Deetses and the Maitlands, the Maitlands were we need to get away. It's their dream. While the Deetses are the Uppies. And my God, their house is fucking disgusting.
And I'm wondering, with the
Yeah, all
hardware
that
store,
modern
with
weird
the
stuff,
hardware
yeah.
store,
Yeah.
weren't they really like from that area? Like it was like a family generational hardware store. It looked like it.
So
Yeah.
they could have gone back to the house.
Gentrification. What Torchy
Yeah.
said.
But so they could have gone. That could have been grandma or grandpa's house. that it could have
Yeah,
gone back.
it gave me like my grandparents' house is kind of vibe. Even my great grandmother's kind of my great grandmother's house kind of vibe.
Ew.
Oh, and yes, Corsi, your comment about the server being turned, yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
also valid.
Beetle
No, it was this the customer service thing. Sir, ma'am, are you sure that the server is turned on? 8 to 10 hour drive later, the server wasn't turned on.
Beetle breakfast, Beetle drink.
I legitimately had to call up one time when my PC wasn't working years ago, right? And the first thing was that the guy genuinely asked me was, "It's it plugged in?"
It's
I'm like,
sad how often that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, it is plugged in, it won't turn on. Basically, it turned out that the power cord had burnt itself out.
Oh, fun.
Well, that could explain why they didn't feel royal enough for me. I don't think they were. Because if you look at, and this is going to sound stupid, right? But if you look at Alec Baldwin, he is honestly kind of mesmerized by it when he was alive. Like, everything seemed magical. Because to me, and the fact that she was still selling it, I think they had just gone into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they were there very long. Because then that's kind of pushing the cousin trying to get them to sell. It's like, come on, you don't have any kids. This house is too big for you.
Exactly. So you're there and you're looking and like, and one of the funny little details is that when Lydia went over to the car, the cousin put the window up.
Yeah, it's like she's like, ew, that she's one of those weird girls.
Pretty much.
Or she looks like she's half dead or something.
Yeah. So now I have a weird theory, and this is going to sound stupid. Well, but this is just my headcanon, right? You know the way that it's like, if you need help, go here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if they had continued to read the fucking book, it would have told them how to get to heaven.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good theory.
Yeah, this is kind of purgatory.
Yeah, that's basically what the afterlife is. But
hell is
you're
really
gonna, but you're gonna understand. But I
trying to
think they
say.
do expand. But I will tell you, Revan, when you do inevitably see the sequel, yeah, they do kind of expand the afterlife a little bit.
Yeah, well, good. But at the same time, they said when they need help, who do they need help with? Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is arguably demonic, right? So where would you go for help? Hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I say earlier with the woman telling him don't do it. It's kind of the moral warning to them to do it themselves.
Speaking of,
he's the short path. So yeah, to equate him with being demonic, absolutely.
Yeah. And later, exactly, Christina Ricci.
It's happening again with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. If you look at them right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the new season of Wednesday, didn't they just wrap production? So it's coming.
No, I think it's actually still filming in Ireland.
They're still filming. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're still filming. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still here. They didn't tell anyone where it is because there's a few. If you're in Ireland, they said you'll know where it is, and you can get there in like 10 minutes. So they don't want any of the cast. It's just Jen Ortega posts for a video in Ireland. It's always in Ireland.
Yeah, and I mean that thing was a little funny with Emma Myers, where she said, "Hey, I want you to stay here and look after my friend," and she just leaves the phone there, and then she comes back. It's like asked her for a movie.
So,
like, hold this bomb, please. Yeah.
So all the monsters and everything. The guy I kind of want a little bit of explanation to is Shrunken, as I call him, Shrunken Head Steve. It's like, what did you do? Now, we did kind of get an explanation at the end of the movie. He pissed off the fourth guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because if you notice, he's sitting on the far end of the couch, which like it's far away from him. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. So, also, and the football team who died, that is a reference to a Soviet Union like football hockey team crashed and the entire team died.
It's
Yeah.
it's the team that was mentioned during the death of Stalin. In fact,
Yes. Yeah, it's a reference to that, but he couldn't do it because like Russia beat at the time the USSR. But they were collapsing in 2 years, so they had much more to deal with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But costume design, Winona Ryder's costumes were absolutely fantastic. Her wedding dress was she reminded me of a mariachi dolls that goes over a toilet roll holder. Didn't you have those in America?
say that again. I missed part of it.
It's a Spanish mariachi dancer doll, right? That goes over toilet rolls.
No, we never had those.
I don't think so.
I think I remember. I think I know, but it wasn't red. I think, but yeah, there was. I think for
Well, you know the
really
style.
a really long time ago, there was like one that was like in a closet that I used when I lived with my grandmother. They had like some weird Mexican marionette on like the top shelf of that closet. I don't know what it was doing up there for.
Hold on. Summon the Beagle, dude.
The Beagle.
Yeah. So, one say. I think April is right about the modern goth girls. See. Speaking of goth, yeah. So, and I agree with Farf and Gamer. I don't think this sequel was necessary.
Yeah, I just don't have any desire to see it. I know people have seen it and they liked it, and that's great. For me, that's the way this movie ends is fine with me.
It's too long of a wait. You get me?
Yeah, it really was. It was.
I think the wait is partially just due to the shitty state of Hollywood. I think the first time they could actually get anything cleared to actually make a sequel.
Well,
but I mean,
Burton said that he wasn't actually looking to do anything with it. He was just going to let it be, and he wasn't fishing for storylines. You know, it's like Charles Dietz. I think he was more mad at what's his face, Jeffrey Jones, to kill off Charles Dietz like that. You know,
is there? You haven't said in a bit. Is there anything you'd like to say,
Bubba?
I think we lost him.
Hold on, just fixing my microphone, guys. No, he's busy with work. I'd say.
Oh.
Stupid microphone. But yeah, no, I love that. I love her camera from that she was using. But here's the thing, and you're going to laugh at this. Hey, Eclectic, good to see you. You feel better, okay?
Lost your voice, huh? Are you
did.
sick or are you just having trouble?
She's
Terrible.
sick. She's sick. She
That
got
sucks.
something. Yeah. You give the little critters pets from all of us. Oh, hold on. Okay. So
we were talking about Tim Burton there. So did Burton do the sequel? And if he did, and he didn't want to do it, why didn't he just say no? I guess
I'm not really sure though, but we all know back in like the early 2000s, like he was being pressured to make a Beetlejuice sequel, but it was gonna be set in Hawaii, and he wrote that. And he wrote the script as a way of trolling trolling Warner Brothers, and it said, Tim, we probably are gonna say no to this.
I honestly think it may be, and granted, this is purely theoretical, but I think it may be just because things have been so dry for him for a while in terms of work,
like Dumbo,
and that it's been so long that maybe he just felt like revisiting it. Maybe he just wanted to do something.
Well, the studio also tried to pressure him. Like they said, well, we own the intellectual on this. We can just go hire writers and whoever we want to direct it. He's like, no, you're not. That's mine. You're
So
not touching
I
that.
love what he
Well, that would be
did.
my question. If it was a studio fight, I have the rights. No,
Mhm.
I do. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to pressure me, I'm going to do it because I'd rather I do it than somebody else
Mhm.
ruin my previous work.
That's
so
also
I
a thing.
honestly like what he did with the Nightmare Before Christmas because they said, "Hey, dude, you need to make a Nightmare Before Christmas too." He wrote a X-rated, racist Nightmare Before Christmas 2 script and handed it in and said, "If you ask me again, I'm going to make this, but worse."
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah,
he did-
Disney.
that sounds like the
Yeah,
second
Disney
time
was
he's done that
pressuring
to
him
troll
because
them.
everybody loves it. Yeah.
They troll them. He trolled them. That's great. You
Oh
gotta
yeah, he
love
goes
it.
after Disney like nobody's business.
Yeah. So one weird Disney fact is that did you know that Home Alone 2 was a bet?
Really?
No.
By Chris
Wow.
Columbus.
Yeah, he was bet. I forget by who, but he was bet that he could not write a movie over the course of the weekend.
Or no,
handed it-
John Hughes. John Hughes.
Yeah, and Chris Columbus, they're the two who had the
Mhm.
bet with each other. That he couldn't hand in a script that he had written over the weekend and get it made. Like have it past the like script reader's eyes as a brand new movie. So he literally took the script from Home Alone 1 and rubbed out a few words and boom.
And just change the city. Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
also half drunk.
Oh, I'm sure.
Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
Well, you know
Um,
how they had to get the Plaza Hotel, right?
No.
They had to assure Donald Trump a scene in the movie. That's how they got him to let them
One of
use
the
the
best scenes
hotel.
in the entire movie, so it worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
But
actually
don't-
started. See, he complains about it too. Like, he said, I only had one part, and they made me join the union, and they made me do this. I'm going, dude, that's Hollywood. You have to.
And
So-
Hollywood's inherently corrupt, so
Yeah.
any complaint it
Yeah.
can get is a welcome one.
So the use of Tim Burton and his use of practicality in this, both physical and like added in. The dance at the end with where Winona Ryder was hoisted up, the ghost added in on the wall, the all the monsters, the sandworms, were all practical effect. The miniature of the city, they literally made the miniatures of the city, which they used to film the sky shots of the city. So they used the same miniature for that.
Yep. Yeah, of Clear Winter.
Yeah. So it's and it also goes like I miss stuff like that. I miss we got
Well, the scene where
Just-
they're digging up Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
they're digging through astroturf, and then underneath that's particle board, which you would
Yeah.
expect to see under, like a train set or a fake city like that,
absolutely.
which is great.
And,
You know?
I was saying it to Bubba, I believe, when we were watching Fallout, right? He was like, "Man, if those suits, Mommy, I think it was you as well." We were like, "Man, I wish those suits were real." I went and looked; the suits were real.
Oh wow.
Like in Fallout, the zombie makeup was real in Fallout, right? The only CGI was the tip of his nose.
Yeah.
And a little like bite on his ear. But that's it. All the rest of it is, and we need more of that. We need more.
Authenticity in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah,
want-
You're
CGI.
asking for
CGI.
authenticity from Hollywood.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
That's
CGI.
the joke
CGI.
itself.
Keep
Yeah,
the
everyone-
faith. Come
But
on.
you can blame
Are you
the Star Wars
serious?
people for that.
Guys,
Hold up. Who has had any
that's the
faith
thing,
in
though.
Hollywood in the last 30 years?
okay.
What faith?
Well, yes,
well-
but the fact of the matter is, CGI is supposed to fill in the gaps where practical cannot. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to take over for practical effects,
Yeah, it's
and
not meant
that
to be a
therein lies the
replacement.
Yeah,
problem.
but in the case of the
George-
Star Wars prequels, like it literally was nothing but CGI.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yes,
lie.
but George
That's
Lucas-
actually
but George
inherently
Lucas-
wrong.
Well,
That's
but
definitely
George
wrong.
Lucas gets a pass because he was pioneering that technology at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
true,
Marv,
true.
And
Marv, you
also,
wanted-
it wasn't all CGI. They overlaid CGI over the effects because they were worried the effects weren't going to look good enough, And unfortunately, they overdid the overlaying of CG effects and made it look worse because it was new technology.
Yeah, and they kind of had to. They had Ian McGregor walking on a beam the whole time because because Qui-Gon Jinn is so much taller than him.
Mm-hmm.
The sad part is there was a ridiculous amount of practical effects in those prequels, but the use of CGI actually hid them more than enhanced them.
Yeah, but you're going to hear Mombi get really happy right now. One of my favorite use of modern real versus practical is in the Orville. Whenever Isaac's fingers open up, he reaches his hands out, and if you look behind the sets, it's basically he has on the physical gloves with Mommy's the blue fingertips. Yeah, yeah, with the blue fingertips, and he holds it out, and then they have all this finger attachments they add on to it for him to know where he's pointing at. And that is the best modern one. So Goat says Jurassic Park was the first movie to toss stop motion effects in favor of CGI. So I laugh every time people talk about the use of practical effects. Okay, the use of practical effects from that movie that I will genuinely talk about is that basically when they were attacked by the T-Rex head in the Jeep, it was a physical T-Rex head attached to a polearm. That's
I was going to say that wasn't CGI.
That was real. Yeah,
that was a practical effect.
And they didn't tell the kids, by the way.
Well, but that's the thing. Like for everybody's bitching about Jurassic Park 3, 2 of the actors got themselves hurt on the Spinosaurus teeth. Like they were still using practical effects.
Yeah.
But so like the sandworms. One of my questions is, why did the souls and outside of the house? Why did they get sent to Saturn?
I don't know. The afterlife is random.
Yeah, I don't know, but I assumed that was a Dune joke anyway.
Yeah.
I thought it was because they were trying to keep them in the house.
Yeah, it's a punishment for going outside the house.
125 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave the house. You're gonna get eaten by a sandworm. I mean, I think that's exactly it. And they didn't read the books. So they didn't know that there was a sandworm out there.
Yeah. But if you notice, at the same time, the headline when they started up was sandworm attacks up 13% by compared to last year, and he starts laughing and goes, "Well, that can't be foreshadowing," or some little weird line like that. Like it's in when Beetlejuice is reading the newspaper.
The ads,
and then. She's talking about how it's getting dusty and how she can't stand trying to clean it all. And, our vacuum's out in the garage, but I can't go out the back door.
Well,
to go get the vacuum.
Talking about her parents, showing how bad they actually were, was you had the ghosts. Oh my God. Okay, we studied for the test. We didn't get an A. You got a C. Well done, but you can do better. Right. You got an A in maths, you got an A in history, but you got a C in science. What did you think? Well, I mean, I won't do, but I mean, yeah. And then when the music and the dancing starts, her parents are downstairs. Well, she must have passed her test. Just goes to show the.
We also got to briefly talk about the possession in the earlier scene with
definitely.
Odeo. Yeah, let's talk about.
Well, let's face it. Her parents were still on a side note. Her parents were still more attentive than the parents from the Time Bandits.
Oh,
that's true.
Well.
Okay, Jetsparks, do you want to start off about the possession scene? Could you brought up?
Deo. I mean, of course, it's already used in like the beginning of the movie, but that one entire eclectic dance number is it's really crazy. But especially Catherine O'Hara is really getting into it.
I
Oh,
love
they were.
her. I
That
love
movie,
her.
that movie looked like it was an absolute fucking banger to make.
Yeah, for her, and of course, like as Delia D, she clearly can go from calm to completely manic and insane and
Yeah.
neurotic.
So because looking at how like and films and things like that, I would say that dance number was one of the things that took the longest to film. Because you
Wow.
have to wonder how, because the thing is, they have to dance whilst being in sync with the song and each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to wonder. Now the way they wouldn't have filmed them all at the same time, they would have filmed the dancing, right? But when you had the close-ups, you had like actor 1, actor 2, actor 3, right? Okay, so on the count of 3, when this red light goes, you start singing. 1, 2, 3, red light, boom, hey, Mr. Coconut, right? They start singing, but the thing is, if they then screwed up, you might have 2 people on like Tally Man, while one person is on Hey Mister,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so they're out of sync by a lot. So they have to then reset the scene, reset the table. It would have taken up a lot of time.
That's
Like,
plausible. Yes.
yeah. But one of the best scenes, honestly, was the wedding. Okay. Her parents were more attentive than 80% of the Gen X kids watching
Right.
movies had.
Well, yeah, that's also not untrue.
Oh.
Well, at least her parents were around all the time. I was a latchkey kid as a Gen Xer. I never.
A lot of
I
us were
rarely saw my
actually.
parents. Yeah.
A great many of us were.
Yeah.
You were. You the only time you had to go home is when it got dark.
Yeah,
we
and they
weren't
had
allowed
to,
to leave the house. My parents, it wasn't allowed. So
and they had to walk home.
I spent a lot of time out of the house. And
yeah, I did it anyways.
Let's not get into that far.
Well, no, I'm just saying
No,
in
yeah.
general, that
No,
notwithstanding.
yeah. No, I just didn't want you to feel bad. You get me?
It's fine.
But yeah, as I said to Mommy earlier on, that basically you older guys, you had to walk to school in the snow 15 miles
Mhm.
uphill each way.
Whenever
no
people
shoes
told
on.
stories, I
that was my
honestly
grandparents.
had to try to conceive of where they thought they lived that they were doing this.
The funniest thing is that was actually true for my grandfather. He lived in the countryside. He's like, oh, we had to walk through the snow. Thing is, it was one summer in 1932.
Nah.
Right? Sorry, one winter in 1932 where it was tremendously bad snow. I'm like, you had a fucking horse and carriage. Where the fuck were you walking? And he'd always turn around and goes, sometimes I'd fall off.
Oh.
But those, I kind of want to go back to the time set like where that movie is. It seemed much more simpler.
Yeah.
Like, which
Yeah.
I think is why these movies still hold up today. It's happier times. Like the couple, compared to today, the couples actually like both
Yeah, they
of
love
them.
each. Yeah, you can tell
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah, they are. Like Adam and Barbara are they're madly in love. And you like, and I even said when we were watching it earlier, it's like you basically want what they have. And hell, most millennial couples don't even last that long. You're lucky if your marriage or even a relationship lasts 10 years, let alone 5 years nowadays.
It's
Well,
with me being married, we've met a lot of people that have similar opinions as that.
yeah. I mean, hold on. The Amish live down the street from me, and they still use a horse and carriage. But yeah,
because they're Amish.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but my grandfather was born in 1927. So in Ireland. So like
And I actually agree with what you said about seeing a lot of things back then that a lot of people just don't have anymore, or they don't
It's
even
like-
really know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my wife and I are considered a rarity for our age. We've been married 20 fucking years.
Man,
And the amount of
there
people
must
that are
be-
like, I don't know how you do it. And I'm sitting there going, it's not that fucking hard.
No, all you have to do is find someone that you like and don't kill them.
Well, and just don't be an asshole. But unfortunately, a lot of people are so rushed and into themselves and the internet and shit that it's hard for them apparently to do that.
People say America doesn't have real cheese. You don't have real food, man.
Yes, we do. You just always go to
You
the
do, you
wrong
just have to
fucking
find it.
places.
Yeah.
You always go to the
Uh-huh.
wrong places.
You have to go digging for it. No, trust me, I've had to do a lot of that since having got.
We don't have real cost-effective food.
Now,
Right.
the cost-effective
That's-
things, but
yeah.
in
Good
here in
point.
Texas, it is not hard to get fucking decent food.
Yeah. So, but like looking at things like in the movie and that girl, why? Yeah, which is, and I've seen people going, why is she so well adjusted? Because you have to realize, because she had people fighting for her throughout the entire movie. Yeah, they were ghosts, but they were still fighting to save her.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the beautiful thing. Though they even tell her, yeah, Lydia, because of how her actual parents are, that they feel that they just don't feel like they care about her, and yeah, she wants to go into a dark place, and probably thinks that if she can do that, she can like be with like the Malins with a family who treated her more like actual parents, actual loving and caring parents.
I think what was up was her mother, who everyone kept calling her mother, was her stepmother.
Yeah,
So we
again,
don't know how long they were there, so we don't know how long the relationship is. Then her dad, he seems to be a typical 1980s yuppie Californian, like stereotypical movie dad.
Yeah, New Yorker type, yeah.
Yeah, like a businessman, like stand up. But what's his business? Buying up towns.
Yeah. He's a real estate developer.
He's a real estate goon.
Yeah, if judging by the interior design of his house and that weird platform where they were sitting attached to the house, it's not a good choice. But guys, we're going to shut up and then I'm going to hit the hay. Right?
Yeah, me
so I will start with Jet Sparks and we'll finish with Gamer.
All right, so yeah, I am JetSparks373. I have my own YouTube channel. I am on most social media platforms. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. A couple, but some of them I know. I mean, I have an entire link tree for all my stuff there, so you can go check me out. And I mean, I'm very sporadic when it comes to doing uploads. And I mean, I'm not sure what I even want to do for any Halloween related stuff. I did like some major stuff last year, but things are getting kind of tough, and I'm like not. And I'm also trying to plan. I'm also trying to plan for other things, maybe for this month, but I'm not really sure. But just I would tell anyone who subscribes to my channel, just get the word out about me, tell people about me, and just watch the backlog of my content. There's a lot of stuff that's probably worth watching. Trust me.
Okay, Farv.
Hey, I got a channel called Farvithian Guard. It's a gaming and gaming news, occasionally discussion channel. We're on Twitter at Farvithian. It's spelled the same fucking way. And I got a book up, the first of my fantasy books, while I'm finishing the final edit so I can send it to copyright, and my cover artist finishes the cover for the second book. And before I go, Eclectic, honey, a lot of us would love to be able to do that, but it's not cost effective for a lot of us who don't have a lot of real estate to work with. So I would love to be able to like just handle my own fucking meat processing, but I just can't do that. I don't have the
Well,
the
for
means
some
and the
people, that's
property.
called murder.
No. That's cannibalism. That's different.
Okay. It's only murder if you get caught. Bubba, is there anyone you'd like to show?
I'm good.
Okay. Guys, go if you want to see more Pirate or Bubba fucking around with people and idiots on the internet. Go and check him out on Twitter at Geek Hero Bubba. For all your daily dose of Bubba goodness, mommy.
What don't we do?
Math.
um,
The
but
fact that
we've
you
got-
didn't answer that is concerning.
Oh. Oh.
yeah, wasn't the best way to put that, huh? But we've got the normal podcast on Sunday nights. We've got Sci-Fi Mambo Studios 3 days a week. We've got Galactic Cafe Monday to Friday. Vic has his own show in drag, which is like right after this show. And our second anniversary special is on October 23rd.
Wonderful.
Before we go, I should actually mention, for
Yo.
anybody who's watching this, it is from my channel. There is going to be a slight schedule change just because of my own personal life schedule and stuff with my dad and all this other shit. I'm not going to be recording full-length videos on Saturdays no more. I will probably post short form videos on Saturday, so there's at least something going on. But yeah, I got to take my weekends a little bit because Sunday is usually the day I have to take to start recording stuff for the week coming up. So I have to adjust
and then
my
he's
schedule
with
a little
us
bit.
on Sunday nights.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So you do need a day to yourself to recuperate. Like you put a lot of stuff on yourself, man.
and I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of an anniversarial thing because my channel's coming up on 3 years.
I'll
I'll have to think of something.
get drunk 3 times over.
I don't think I want to do that on like stream. Also, it would take too fucking long.
You want to do a Fortnite stream? I can feel it.
I loathe both that game and that company.
Talking about Fortnite Street
I agree
gamer.
with you on that 100%. If anyone told me to play that game, I honestly think you're gonna make me.
It makes me sad. I used to love Epic, and then Cliff Blazinski left, and it all went to hell.
Hold on, gamer. You want to shield for anyone?
I am in 2 weeks going to be on Daramuth's Corner. I know Goat and Adam Gray have been on there, and a few others that with B-sides and whatnot. I do wrenching for the Brown Alliance on Sundays and Wednesdays, and a few of us are getting ready for the Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
So Commodore Wick is ready.
Which
and
we will
I'm
be
on
doing.
X, the oldest gamer, all one word. And that's where we're at right
This
now.
is true, yeah.
So we will be doing Sea of Thieves after Thanksgiving. We are introducing 2 new people, Panda and Wicked. I found them outside of Walmart.
Wow.
I decided to surprise adopt, or as they say, kidnap in legal terms, Panda, and I'm bribing Wicked with tacos.
Tacos are good.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Beetlejuice, I do think it is good as we remember. Everyone else?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah.
it's definitely
in
a
my top 10.
It's a good classic, especially for like this time of the year.
Awesome. Right, so guys, I'm going to let you go. Good night, God bless, and see you around, dorks.
Later.
Peace.